I'm now back in my ATLAS.ti project, which is still empty, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to represent the elements of the design framework that I just showed you in ATLAS.ti. And as you see, I can do this before I've collected any data. So first of all, to start with the different types of data that I have in this project, I will be using what are called document families to represent the different types of data in this project. To access my document family manager, I can either do it from the menu bar, which is Documents, Edit Families, Open Family Manager, but a quick way of doing it is if I hold my Control key down on my keyboard and click on this PDocs button. As you can see here, it accesses the primary document family manager. So what I want to first do is to represent the different types of data that I have in this project. So I can click Families, New Family here, and I'll give it a name. So since I have a number of different types of data, they're all going to start with data type, and I've just typed in 2 colons. So I have here data type audios. I have the audios of the focus groups. Another way, instead of doing the menu bar, Families, New Family, I can just click on this little icon here. That will also create a new family. So the next one will be data type downloads, to represent the downloads from the web pages that will be in this project. And just to save me from constantly writing data type, I'm just going to highlight data type in the 2 colons, and I'm pressing Control-C to copy it on my computer keyboard. So now when I create the next data type, I'm just doing Control-V, so I don't have to keep typing the same thing over and over. So the next type of data type are my focus groups, and images, those are my photos, and the pre-talk about interviews, and oops, I forgot to put data type first. So if you do, it's very easy to rename the document family. I just clicked on it once and waited, and you can see it's in write over mode, and now I'm just pressing Control-V here, so that it's now prefaced with data type. And the next type are my videos. So those are all the different types of data I will have in this project. So I don't actually need to have the data assigned to the project to create the document families. I can create the document families in advance as long as I am clear about the design of my research beforehand. Now, document families are also used to represent the variables that you have in your project. And so my variables relate to the individuals in this project. So the first type are the A levels that they decided to take. So I'll just type A levels here. And then the type of A levels, so I'll just double colon here, are all humanities. And again, I'll just highlight this and copy it. A levels, all humanities. And the next one is mixed science and humanities. science and maths. And the next one here is mixed science and social science. So I won't create all of the variables, but you get the idea of how you create them. So different types of data are represented by the document family, as are all your variables that relate to individuals are represented by document families. And also my units of analysis, and the variables all relate to my individual unit of analysis, but I'm also going to be analyzing, comparing the two different websites, so I need to have document families for those. So I'll just put website Bristol University, and again I'll just highlight that, copy it, and Manchester University. So your units of analysis, what you're comparing, are also represented by document families in ATLAS.ti. And then when I have data, I will assign, all the pieces of data that relate to Manchester University to Manchester University website. Assign, where there are videos, so the Talk Aloud interviews videos would be all assigned to my video one, and also the videos by the people who are taking All Humanities would be assigned to All Humanities. So the thing about document families is that a piece of data can be assigned to more than one document family. They're not mutually exclusive. So you would just, if I import a video of Manchester University from someone studying All Humanities at A level, it would be assigned to A levels All Humanities. It would be assigned as a video, and it would be assigned as it relates to Manchester University. So document families are quite an important tool in ATLAS.ti that allows you to restrict your analysis to, in this case, just my stuff from Manchester, or I can also combine them. For example, is if I just want to look at my videos that relate to Manchester University, then I can create what's called a superfamily, where I can combine Manchester University and videos, for example. These are Boolean operators here, and the third one there, as you can see, if I hover over it, is the AND operator. And then I can save that as a superfamily, which I would just call my Manchester University videos. So when you're creating your document families, create them at the smallest level, because you can then use the superfamily tool to combine different document families later on. And if you notice, ATLAS.ti automatically organizes them in alphabetical order. So that's why I always start with the variable name, followed by 2 colons, and then the value after that. And that is also the notation to use, because you can then export this out if you wish to an Excel file, and it will form quite nicely out in Excel if it has this notation of double colons after the name of the variable. Right, well, I'll close the document family manager down now. And I also know some of my codes beforehand. So again, what I want to do is to open my code manager, And I mean, there's two ways of doing it. I can go into the menu bar and click Codes in Code Manager, but the quick way of doing it is just to click on Codes. And here I can start by naming the codes that I want to create. And again, Atlas will automatically arrange your codes in alphanumeric order. And so in order to keep them, the codes that I want together, I can kind of fudge a hierarchy by the way I name the codes. So to create a new code, it's codes. Create free code means that it's not linked to anything. So I'm going to start with my comparison statement. So I'll just start with comp, which I know will mean comparative statements. So these are comparative statements favoring Bristol, and then I'll create another one favoring Manchester. Just copy that. Control-V, and these are balanced statements that are balanced comparison. And at the bottom here you can see it's called a comment box, and I can write a definition of these codes as I create them in the comment box. So here I can expand that, these are statements that are making a balanced comparison of the two websites. So that is where you would, and you can see here the little icon for codes changed. It has like a little card in front of it, which means that it has a definition or in the comment box for it. So that's how I can, in advance, start creating the codes that I know will exist for this particular project. So I won't go through all the codes now, so I'll just close that down. I should also create a research journal to record my work on the project. So that's a kind of a memo, so I'll just create a free memo. And you can see here it gives it automatically a title, which is ME for memo, and the date. So I can just change that to Research Journal and give it whatever title you want. And you have different types. Well, Research Journal is a kind of method memo. If you notice, method isn't one of the types listed, but that doesn't matter because you can always create a new type by just typing the name of the type in the type box. And I can insert the date and time. Control-D, that is a shortcut key you should learn early. Control-D for date. So that gives the date and time, and then I can just say that, I have set up the document families for this project and have started to create codes that I know I will be using, etc. So you would just record, date, time stamp it, your progress. I mean, it might sound boring at first what you're writing, but as time goes on, you'll be putting some insights in the data as you start reading the data and interpreting it. So if I close this here with the X, it asks me if I want to save changes, and I'll say yes. And you can see here that the research journal appears in the memo combo box there. And if I click on memos, there it is. If if I select it, you can see in the comment box what you've written. But what I recommend is that when you write, so if I want to add to this research journal, is to double click so it opens up in the editor. And I'll just do Control D, date for time again. So, use the editor because you have more options in terms of formatting your memo. As you can see here, you have different fonts, different font sizes. You can use bold, italics, highlight, etc. So I'll just close that down and save it. Now I've represented the design of this project now in Atlas, and I'm ready to go. And as you can see, you can do this with no data collected, so that when you do have data, and I do have some data already collected, I can assign them to the project and then assign them to their relevant document families. So to assign data to your project, you click Documents, Assign, and I'll just click on the Assign To here, and you see how, because I saved it using the HU path, the HU is saved with my data, it automatically opens that folder with my data in it. So here, what I think I will be bringing in are, let's say, my some videos here. So I can bring all of them in by holding my Shift key down and selecting all of them, but that might take some time, so I'm just going to bring in 2 for now, or 3. And also I will be bringing in, let's say, some photos. So that's under Images here, so I'll just bring all of those in. So I'm holding my Shift key to select them all, etc. And you can see when I open up my Primary Document Manager, there they are listed. And what I can now do is, I'll just close the Primary Document Manager and open the Primary Document Family Manager. Remember, holding the Control key down and pressing this button will give me that. And then I can assign these documents to them. So I can immediately assign them to which website they relate to. So if I select Bristol website here I'm holding my Control key and I'm just selecting the items that relate to Bristol website, and then you see this little arrowhead pointing to the left. Once I've selected the relevant data, I just click on that, and now you can see there are 4 data items assigned to Bristol University. The same thing for Manchester here. I'm now selecting the Manchester University website family, and now what I'm doing here is I am holding my Control key down and just assigning the Manchester data, and then click on that to that. And then right, I happen to know that Bob is taking a mixture of science and humanities for his A-levels. So if I select that, I can move Bob's data to that document family. And I happen to know that David is doing a mixture of science and social science. So I will select that and I will move David's data into that. So that's how you would assign your data to the relevant document families. And as you can see, you would assign each piece of data to as many of the document families that they relate to.